Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elkana, and welcome to Monday's edition of Premarket Info.
Well, Joel, I did end up getting that sell-off that I wanted, but you know me, the scalper and me, I covered everything way too soon. I had a good day, but it could have been a great day.
I put in my special notebook that next time Dennis gets that bearish, it's time to mortgage the house. You made a good call. You were only 20 points away from pay dirt on our wager on the steak dinner.
I wanted to
I'm
sneak
ready
out.
to. Yeah, I'm gonna let you out for a happy meal.
A Happy Meal, McDonald's, and I can have a steak
Yep.
dinner if we get to 1740, and you've got to get to, what was that? You have to get to like 1540.
I
No
know. I
way I'm not
know.
letting you out for a Happy Meal. Even though I'm bearish right now, there's no way I'm letting you out for a Happy Meal. I need to get like a nice Red Robin meal or something at least, you know. I don't know if I'm scared. I don't know if we're going to see that 1740, but don't think there's no way in hell we're seeing 1540 anytime soon. So I still like
You
my
know what?
bet. You're
You
going to
know
have
what's
to up
also
the ante.
interesting? You know what's interesting about where we're trading right now too? Like this exact level. This is where we gapped up last Monday on the Summers news,
Yeah,
and we gapped up, and then we had the Fed non-taper that take us up to the all-time high, maybe the all-time high forever, Dennis.
might be. It might be. That's scary.
1726.75, and now we're right back at that level. So taking out the overnight, we take out the low from Friday at 1701 and a quarter. So no double bottom here. And really not a lot of excellent support here in the S&Ps until you get down to 1693 and a quarter. That was Wednesday's low.
Let's move on to some of the stocks that were moving here, obviously, on Friday. That we'll get to some rebalancing and some gaps, but the one that was moving the most was BlackBerry, obviously. That came out. They had a disaster, lowering guidance, saying they're cutting 4,500 jobs, just basically saying everything wrong. They halted the stock pending the news. It was up in about $10.30. Believe it or not, I was just checking out the puts when it was in the halt. The $10 puts for Friday were trading and offered at 1 penny. So somebody just made a ton of money if you bought those BlackBerry puts at 1 penny, because those things at the max were then worth $1.99 when it got down to 801. Obviously closed up a little bit at 872, but is weak here again this morning. Jefferies now downgrading the stock, lowering their price target from 15 to 8, and the stock is trading down another 6% here. This stock is just always a disaster.
Right. Well, you talk about someone making a lot of money. How about the people that were short those
Oh
things
my!
and were just,
Oh, oh,
I'm going to get that extra penny.
yeah,
And,
right in
whoop,
options
and
at a
then,
penny. That's a
yeah.
dangerous game right there, and that just shows you what happens. You know, you think, oh, it's only got 20 minutes to go or half an hour to go. That's a free penny. I'll just sit there and write that. Well, bad things happen, and black swan events happen too. And if you wrote that for a penny and you just lost $2, that's just an incredible. I can't even imagine the amount of money you could have lost on that.
We got down to 801 on Friday after the news came out. I actually opened it up at 850, so you had a chance to, if you really wanted to get short, it did. It dipped down to 801. That was a low that you had back in November of last year. And that's where you got the bounce from.
Yep.
Haven't quite hit that in the pre-market. I'm calling that support. I'm only calling that minor support, though. After you get below that $8 handle, you're looking at a low in October of 2012 at 727, but it may take a couple days to get down there.
Yeah, and there's always good support at zero there too, Joel. So.
Yeah, I know. And remember, I how long ago was it I pitched my BlackBerry for an iPhone?
Yeah, yeah, that should have been the tell there too, I guess. Let's move on. Some of these stocks were trading crazy on Friday. We had obviously the Dow rebalance. We had quadruple witch happening, and it led to some crazy imbalances at the close and some crazy moves. You can start with Visa because that actually got put into the Dow as of the close on Friday, and obviously everybody had to buy it at the close there. And what happened was you saw the stock trading about 196 at about 340, came out huge buy imbalance, gapped up on the close. If we can get close, Joel, zoom right in there, you can see the gap up. Went from 196 up to 198.83, so we closed up. Now it's starting to give some of that back. And typically, I'll just tell you, obviously these are just statistical, just the stats, but Usually, when these stocks go into the index, they finally go in because they've had such a run up, and Visa has had a run up in this case. Usually, these plays are fades. So, usually, I wouldn't be surprised that 198.83 is the high for a little while in Visa. Now, not long term, but short term fades. So, we'll have to see if that does play out. It is playing out this morning because Visa is down $1.30, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was back at 196 before the end of the day here.
Right. Here's a stock that trades between 2 and 4 million. Trades 14 million on Friday. So the rebalancing gives a big boost. That 198.83 eclipse the former all-time high that you had at 196. So that's a good level. Keep an eye on. You also had a double bottom in the stock on Friday. That 194 level. 193.87 was the low on Friday. 194.01 was the low on Thursday, so we'll keep an eye on that. That 194.01's been the highest low of the move. Just looking at the pre-market though, Dennis, those people that did get those sales off at 198.83 are not letting the profits run very much here, taking stock off at the 197.50 level. Yeah. So we'll call that minor support.
I call it no support. 196 is where I think this thing's headed. I'm making some bold calls here this morning. Goldman Sachs, same story here. Stock getting put into the Dow, gapped up on the Friday close from 167.5, gapped up all the way to close at 169.75. There's $2 of air there. I think it fills the gap this morning. It's already almost has actually, pulling back to 168.15 right now. And again, the stock has had a run up into, everybody knowing that it's going into the index. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little short-term weakness in this issue.
Boy, someone has opinion at this stock at 170.
Yeah,
that has been the high of the move here. Yep. Had 169.69 was the high back on August 5th. Got up to 169.75 on Friday. Traders were using that as a place to exit. Boy, they all rushed into this thing. They must have really been baffled as the market was tanking and they needed to buy stock and there was just nowhere to go. There were just no offers in these things.
Yeah, and that's why I think those moves are fades, those Friday moves. So if you got those closing prints or if you were fading in after hours, good job because you're getting rewarded here this morning. I'm going to go through a lot of the other ones. There was a lot of gaps here at the close. So what those usually fill when they're in balanced gaps. So take a look at the chart of Coke, KO. Right on the closing print, it was traded around 39 and then closed at 39.40. Huge buy imbalance came in, a few million shares, and popped it up to the 39.40. I got lucky. I actually had some orders out there and got short that closing print. I covered it after hours at around 39. I think it's right around the 39.10 area. It's trading at 39.20 right now, but I think this thing has 39 written all over it too.
Right, another gap up here, a little bit thicker of a stock, so
yeah.
You didn't get as much of a rise as you do as those
a 40-cent move for Coke. That was like the entire day's trading range when you put it in perspective. So sitting down there at the lows and boom, closed near the highs.
Right, you dipped under 39 on Friday. 38.78 was the low. So, but you have all these short-term players in the market here. So 39, nice round number, it'd be a 40-cent profit for those that participated in that closing print. Also, just above, if we do go into any kind of rally mode here, we get that through that 39.40 level. Don't look for a lot of action on the upside. 39.60 and 39.67. With the highs from Wednesday and Thursday.
Now we go down. I think it's going to be looking at that 39, so definitely keep an eye on the low from Friday, which was 38.78, if Coke does indeed go into sell-off mode like I think it might off the hop. Caterpillar CAT gap down $1 on the close there, and it actually is trying to hold up here this morning. It's trading up a nickel despite the S&P futures obviously trading down 3 points. But that was again the same story here. Stocks just getting pushed around with large imbalances, and this one was pushed down.
Right, made a low, 84.75 here. Not getting much of a bounce off that sell-off. Looking below this 84.75 level, Dennis. Not a lot of support in this issue until you go back to September 9th and you had 84.02 low. Coming back on the upside here. Long ways away from 88, but the last few times it snuck over 88's had a hard time, but here's a stock that market making all time new highs last week, and this thing is just far away from that.
Yeah, real far away. ConocoPhillips COP gapped up 70 cents on the closing print. It is giving some of that gap back down this morning. I'll fly through a few of these. Burke.B gapped up 60 cents on the closing print. You even had stocks like Nike gapping up a quarter, and it obviously went into the index. Walmart gapped down 20 cents. So stocks were really just moving all over the place. One to focus on here, GG. I want to just talk about this one for a second. It gapped down on the closing print. Well, was running down on the closing print, but gapped down another 25 or 30 cents. It was right around 26.25. Closed on the low, obviously, with the big sell imbalance at 25.82. But I wanted to highlight this because when you go out to the dailies on GG, there is some crazy, crazy
Oh,
support right here, right now. Obviously, we had the huge pop up, when gold popped the $50, this thing popped $2.50. It took only 2 days to give it all back, but we are right back there at that critical support level. Love to see this thing hold. I actually did pick it up here, just hoping it's going to hold. If it takes it out at 25, it starts trading 25.70, 25.65, I'll probably dump it, but hoping that this support can hold.
yeah, you had multiple lows here. You go back Friday, obviously 25.82, Wednesday 81, Tuesday 87, and then going back into the
Crazy.
prior week, you had another at 84. But just as the S&Ps are back at the level that we were last Monday, gold after that ridiculous move off the Fed announcement is nearly migrating back to the $1,300 levels. So whatever euphoria was from the of the non-tapering, it's all been back into the factored into the market now, right back where we started from.
Yeah, those shorts puked and covered. They threw in the towel, and just like we were saying, and the retail guy was buying at the highs, and now he's sitting there thinking, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have been buying at 17.26 and 17.20 when the thing's back at 16.99." So now all of a sudden, just like everybody was, the path of least resistance kept being higher. Now I feel like it's almost lower, just because everybody got suckered in when with that big Fed rally when they didn't taper. So I think that was a suckers rally, and obviously it's given most of it back already. So now it's kind of, now it's a different play. You're at this critical 1700 level, so it's a little bit trickier. Let's move on to just a couple other stocks that were really moving. Facebook, wow, I can't. That's just another one that was really moving. I don't know if it had some imbalances that were playing it or not. Obviously, NASDAQ stocks, there wasn't any NYSE imbalances. But 47.49. I went the wrong way on this thing. I actually on Friday it was drifting down, got under that 46 level. I was like, maybe this thing can get some momentum going on the downside. I just picked up some cheap puts for like 6 or 7 cents. I think the 45.5s I picked up with a few hours to go. Well, those expired worthless because the stock turned around and rallied $2.
I was leading the wrong way on this
Yeah,
one too. I did the same thing, and then it dipped under 46, and it had a really tight range at the time. So I thought, hey, this thing could get down to 45.23, and then I just sat in amazement as the market just carried lower in the last 10, 15 minutes, and
just what
it
flew.
was like this stock was just on its own planet.
It
I
really
don't know if
was.
there are people going short into the close or whatever.
Yep.
New all-time high 47.60, all-time high close 47.49. Only giving back about 20 cent in the pre-market here. So Facebook continues to continue its rally despite the market selling off. I guess people will be on Facebook lamenting about their losses in the market or something. Another stock that got a nice boost also, and I was just watching it go, was the Googster. Got over $900, closed right near its high of the day. But you do have an interesting formation here.
Yep.
Last three highs in the Googster between 904 basically and 906. So nice range there at 905 for resistance, and it's still hanging up here like it did back in early August. So let's see if it can hold that $900 level. If not, I bet you I can get some cheap 850 puts or something like that. The
Citigroup
weekly, of
here,
course.
lower trading revenue they were announcing there this morning here on CNBC. Stock trading down $1.40 right now, so absolutely getting murdered. This is a huge move for Citigroup. Under the
Huge.
critical $50 is absolutely huge. We are trading down there in the pre-market. We'll have to see if we can indeed open below 50. That's just a huge breakdown for Citi.
Yep, back under the $5 level here.
$5.
Did
That's
not
a reverse split.
taking the news not very well here. Lower trading revenue. Maybe they were short the Facebook or something. I don't know, but we're just not getting a bounce here. 49.72 low. It's just not getting any kind of bounce here. They have to go to the dailies here and take a look at September 9th. They traded down to 49.36. We're 36 cents away from there in the pre-market, so keep an eye on that. Below that, 49.12 was another level on September 4th. So, but here's the stock. Once again, you are trading some volume here. Not not wicked. Not like it's millions of shares. So, big move. Not a lot. I mean, we're
285,000. It's
Yeah,
starting to trade, so I don't
yeah,
know. This
and
is pretty significant for Citi, so I think you're going to see obviously this thing. It looks like it might actually open under 50, which is impressive. Let's move on to just Tesla here because wow, it's up again here today. This stock it just cannot. It had we were talking about the 17 or 18 days of consolidation that it had in the 160s. Well, that was the pause for the move higher, and obviously we broke out the last 2 days. Everybody's jumping on the Tesla bandwagon here again. I mean, these things usually always end badly, but who knows when it ends? It just continues. The valuation's ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. The thing just seems to almost have it just continues to march higher as everybody just piles in. It's like a bubble. You got these little mini bubbles and everything here again, like the Facebook bubble, the Tesla bubble, and obviously everybody's piling in the same stocks and selling everything else. Momentum wins, at least right now.
right. Yeah, that long period of consolidation did give you a chance at a strangle or something when you were trading between that 160 and 170 forever, and now you broke out, made a new all-time high on Friday. Looking at the pre-market here, you're not getting I mean, you're getting a little bit of a bounce here, 31 cents pre-market high right at that 185 level. All-time high 185.83. So if you're looking for a place to protect some profits in here, the highest low of the move has been 178.56. So put a stop perhaps below that level. You're $5 away, and you're probably more likely to sell it at 199.99 than you will at 170.
What just broke on Apple there, Brent, or somebody got the news? Because
You got something on Apple, Brent?
Apple just popped up $20 here. Oh, we're not. His mic's not working, maybe.
Okay. They sold like a bunch of iPhones.
They sold They sold a hell of a lot of iPhones. It looks like it just popped $20 just while
That's
we're
what
on
he
the
said.
show here. Wow, that's
Yeah, they sold a lot of iPhones.
everybody likes the iPhone. They were the lineup. You mean the big, huge, long lineups actually led to a lot of sales? Well, this market it
Yeah.
just doesn't price in anything. The biggest lines ever, but they don't expect them to just sell a ton of phones. And now it's pricing in, and we just popped up. Look at that, 490.29. We just hit. Is that right? Wow. So wow.
Yeah,
465 to
I
490.
don't know if they have any of those pink ones left you wanted, Dennis, but it's funny. Everyone was like ripping on Apple. Oh, yeah, the colors, everything, and it's not going to sell. They sell the stock. Icon calls it a no-brainer here, and you get a ridiculous move up to 490.29
Oh,
here. Trying to get 480.83. I mean, I don't even know what to say on a move like this. Let's go take a look at the dailies here. It's tempting to fill the gap when they made the announcement. Let's just take a look at that gap area here. Look at that, Dennis. 489.50 is where we gap down from.
went right to 490
Yep,
pre-market.
and we went to 490. So if it gets back up to that 490 area, that's potential resistance, and then you get above the 490. You had a close on the day prior to the tanking, 494.64.
Well, Apple looks like it's going to be hot today, though. And this is just trade 700. It's just trading so much volume right now. Now it's traded 705,000 shares. So, wow, that's an impressive move for Apple. Overall market thoughts here before we close the show. We are hanging out right at 1700. Can this good news in Apple prop this market back up? Are we going to start rallying here? Or are we going to pause for a day or two? Or does the sell-off continue?
I'm looking for this off continue as always here. Looking for the Dennis 2-day move here. Looking at your pre-market trading, you did get down into the 1790s a little bit here, so we'll keep an eye on that recent low. A lot of times you'll test that low. And then you'll see if it has enough oomph to get back up over the $1,700 level. The low and the close in the S&Ps being right at that same level, 01 and a quarter, yeah, 01 and a quarter, 02 and a half. I'll call that 0250 minor resistance. Then you have the overnight high at 170750.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading day, and we'll be back at you tomorrow morning.